Good day, family. Today I have something very important to share with you. I received this download probably about 5 days ago, but I started rambling when I was recording it, and it wasn't really making much sense after I went back and watched the recording. So I had to redo it, but I wanted to share it with you so my mind would not just rest. It would not rest until I got this information out. So, as you all know, I get downloads often. I receive divine messages from the spirit world, which resides inside of each and every one of us. I just connect with it because I'm always conscious of it. And I also know that everything in this physical world has a spiritual cause. So I want to get into what this download was about in the little time that I have to share it. I don't have any earrings on. Well, normally I do. So that's my thing. I can't believe I don't have any earrings on. Beside that, um, so you probably have noticed that some people talk about a flat earth. And we're just going to use this book as an example. They talk about earth being flat, which is not out of the norm according to our ancestors and what they believed, as well as how I'm going to explain it to you. But the reason there's a lot of conflict about the shape of the earth is because our earth, just like us, we exist in multiple dimensions and we show up differently in each of those dimensions. I'm going to try or attempt to explain this to you in as simple terms as possible. So the first dimension would be a flat plane. And this is the first dimension because this is the most basic fundamental movement, representation of movement that we can do, which is just like one dimension. Okay, you can go frontward or backwards, that's it. But in a straight line, that's one dimension. So when you stack several one dimensions on top of each other, they begin to look like this. And just look at or allow this book to represent multiple one-dimensional planes stacked on top of each other. When you do that, you get two dimensions because now all of a sudden you have this right angle here, right? This is a right angle, which allows you to now move not just in a straight line forward and backwards, but also perpendicular, up and down. So now, if you imagine this right angle being flipped in multiple directions like this, you can now form what is a three-dimensional object, which is a cube from our perspective. And a cube now allows you to go into three dimensions, which is now depth added. So one dimension is going to be a straight line. Two dimensions is perpendicular. Now you can go up and down and then left and right. And then three dimensions is that cube, which is going to allow you to go in and out. So the fourth dimension are going to be cubes that are stacked on each other. First dimension is going to be flat planes stacked on each other. Second dimension is going to be right angles stacked, right? Making a cube. And then the third dimension are going to be the cubes. So now it's going to be very difficult for you to conceptualize the fourth dimension being cubes that are stacked in and out of each other, which is a shape that we cannot put in our mind to picture. However, what's been happening and what the download was about it involves the fourth dimension. The way that the sun and moon show up to us, third dimensional beings who are in a third dimensional mindset and frequency, is just like objects in the sky, doing no apparent thing except shining light and what we've been taught to look at it like from a third dimensional perspective. But when you are receiving information from a higher perspective, a higher dimension, you begin to hear sound and colors. You begin to see sound and colors differently. So you already can see colors, most of you. Some of you out there can't see colors, and people don't realize this is a thing in the third dimension. But there's a lot of people who can't see colors, just like there's a lot of people here who are deaf and can't hear sound the way that we hear it audibly. Yet sound is still being heard when it's in your head as a thought. That is sound. So it's just certain sounds are not audible to deaf people. And with that being said, there are colors in the fourth dimension that take on a new property, a new aspect, a new form, and that is sound. There's sound that take on new property in the fourth dimension, and that is sight. And so I think I said that right. Hopefully, when I go back and see this video, I said it right. But just know that the fourth dimension has qualities about it that we don't consciously perceive here as being normal, okay, in this dimension. But it's perfectly normal in the fourth dimension. So the sound that you start to see is basically going to give the sun a new property, meaning that it is going to be able to speak and communicate with you in a way that you can consciously hear and interpret. And so will the moon, as well as some other things that you don't quite, you're not able to pick up on in the 3D dimension. Trees will be able to talk to you and you'll be able to hear them, which many of us are hearing now. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I have been capable of receiving messages from the sun, messages from trees, messages from things that you would normally not be able to hear. And that's because they send signals on such a subtle level. The frequency is a lot slower. And because the frequency is a lot slower, many of us can't pick up on frequencies that low. And there are frequencies in color that many of us cannot see as well. Well, that has not kicked in yet for me. Besides just seeing things here and there out of the corner of my eye every now and then, when I look directly at it, it disappears. But sound is very much my gift when it comes to hearing frequencies that are outside of the normal range. And smells. So I know that some powers are coming online, not just for me, but for you too. And if you're able to sense things and just know things that you don't know how you know them or why it came to you, that's a sign that your powers are coming online. And they are streaming in from the fourth dimension. So the sun and the moon taking on these different qualities and having, that means that you'll be able to have conversations and understand exactly what the sun is doing for you, not just for us as a whole, but for you specifically and your particular relationship with the sun and the moon, because they are co-creators. They're co-creating everything that is happening here in the physical form. And if you look at the sun long enough, you can see through it, and then it begins to turn black. It takes on a black essence. And with that being said, you'll understand why on the yin and yang symbol, the sun is the black dot with light surrounding it, and the moon is going to be the white dot or circle with darkness surrounding it. And the shape that these two figures make in the sky in the fourth dimension are going to be like a Vesica Pisces. They circle each other. And they also, and the Vesica Pisces looks like this, guys. It looks like, well, not exactly like this, but if this looks like a vagina, yes, a woman's vagina is shaped like a Vesica Pisces. Your eyes are shaped like a Vesica Pisces. Your vocal cords are shaped like a Vesica Pisces. Whenever you see a Vesica Pisces, it is a portal for things to come through the third dimension. So if you want to channel information through to this dimension, if you want to manifest your thoughts into this dimension, draw a freaking Vesica Pisces on your wall and speak affirmations to it, because this is the divinity of the feminine energy that's present in this 3D world. That is a direct indication of us being connected to the creator in a physical way that only a woman or a female can be connected. And males are connected in other ways as well. They plant seeds. We manifest those seeds. We're like incubators. You give us a thought, which is also considered a seed in Bible terms. You give us a seed and we plant it, and then we turn it into a fruit. We manifest the shit out of it. We can bring life and give life to that seed. And that's why it's important for men to share their dreams with their woman. Don't hold that in and keep it to yourself, because you're doing yourself an injustice. If a woman loves you, she is going to help you make that dream into a reality. If you're worth it. But if you're not a caring person, and the fruit that, and you also have to realize that no human life form can come into this earth without coming through a woman first. If it's not coming through a woman, it needs her, eggs in order to, come through, which is something she naturally carries in her body. It is a gift for us to bring life into this world. But we also get a choice of which kind of life we're bringing into this world. And ladies, if you're bringing the children of assholes into this world, you really need to think about how your contribution to the earth is being made and how it can change with a simple decision. Who's worthy of your body? Who's worthy of your time and worthy of your genetics? And this is no woman power trip that I'm taking here. It's just that the female energy has been suppressed on this plane for so long that it has caused an imbalance mentally. And that imbalance needs to be balanced back out in order for us to co-create together a world that we all see fit to live in. And this is the sun and the moon dance. They co-create. They're male and female. They're yin and yang. They're black and white. These two entities, if you look at them for what they are and what they do, as above, so below, they are co-creating your reality. And so you do need to respect that. If you understood what they are and what they mean to you, without the sunlight, we would die. Our food would not grow. Without the moon, we would not be able to manifest. We would not have another side to us that allows us to be vulnerable, that allows us to be out of the spotlight, that allows us to sit and think in quietness. Without us, we would not be able to heal, because the moon offers all of these qualities and gifts that we're not aware of. So what are the sun and the moon? What are these two entities? In the fourth dimension, it becomes very clear. In the third dimension, they're looked as external objects. They're not external objects. They are representations of what is inside of each and every one of us. And when you connect with it as that, it begins to allow that connection to be heard. And so, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word was sound, and sound was God, generative, operative, and destructive. And because you are producing sound out of your vocal cords, which is that Vesica Pisces, you are able to generate or create, operate within that creation, and destroy that creation. And all of this is apparent in your birth chart. When you talk about a cardinal sign, that's creator, a person who gets things started. When you talk about a fixed sign, that's an operator. That's a person that's able to operate within these parameters. And they have the energy to keep things going. And when you talk about a mutable sign, that's a person who's able to transition from one thing to another, a dissolver, an ender of worlds, an ender of things, and able to begin new things. Like, these signs are found in our birth charts. These aspects and qualities are found in our birth charts. And if you don't know your birth chart, then I suggest you go to astro.com and put in your information so that you can see what your birth chart looks like. And, I can help you interpret it if you, post a request down below, or you send me an email at info.nourishment101@gmail.com. So besides that, guys, I just had to get this information out because the download was saying that many of our powers are beginning to come online so strongly that you cannot deny it anymore. If you continue to try to deny it, then the struggle is going to get more and more complicated. It's going to get harder. The way of living is so simple if you have the right viewpoint to see it. And that is treat others as you would want to be treated. Speak life into things that need to have life, and destroy the things that need to be destroyed. And I'm not talking about people, because people are a direct reflection of you. You're the generator. You're creating your world. So you're creating who's in it. If you have animosity or any ill feelings towards anyone else, you need to check yourself, because that person is reflecting something of your nature back at you, and you can't deal with it because you haven't started trying to look at your shadows. You need to do that shadow work. You need to put in the efforts to change the things that's going to make you a better person, a better being that you can take with you to the next life, that you don't have to leave behind. Invest in your qualities, in your gifts, and invest in your attitudes. Those things you get to take with you. And sorry all of this is coming out, but it's gonna all make sense eventually. Not sorry that it's coming out. I'm sorry that it may not be making sense to some of you, but it will. Just rewind this and listen to it again, and it will start to paint a picture for you. But guys, when it comes to angles, right? Angles create shapes and geometric patterns, and geometric patterns have numbers associated with them, and it's the value of the angles added up. That's why a circle is 360 degrees, because there are no angles. But if you have angles, then those angles have certain degrees with them, and those degrees have sounds associated with them. And anyone who knows the chromatic scale will know and understand how sound and color and shapes all are connected. I cannot explain it in this video, but I do have a video that it kind of explains it and goes into detail, and it's really good. I forgot the name of it. I'll link it below once I get off of this video and I think of the name. But you have to understand that everything in this three-dimensional world is connected to a higher dimension, but it's interconnected. Everything is co-creating, and everything is also it has a symbiotic relationship. So to get back on topic, these angels, they sing. Angels and angles are one and the same. And these angels and angles that sing, they have certain sound waves that go with their frequency. And the more they are interconnected and harmonize, then it actually does something physical to your body and your mind when you can pick up on that harmony. Because sound is always creating. Sound is amazing. It has the ability to levitate things, boil things, freeze things, kill things. Microwaves and radio waves are all forms of sound at different frequencies. It's incredible. Light is a slower version of sound, and you guys were taught that light was the fastest thing that we know of. It's actually sound that is faster than light because it creates light. So sound is trickling in from the fourth dimension because the portal was open. And when I thought that portal was open, I was thinking that that was a conduit for physical things to come in, but my mindset was focused on being able to see it. It's actually a portal and a conduit for sound waves to come in, and these sound waves are affecting your thoughts, and it is allowing you to think on higher levels of consciousness and existence. And it's myself included, which is why I'm thinking about what the sun and the moon are and have been for years, which is why I come up with or I hear a lot of things, and I just I never say anything, but I have to now. Like, I am being forced to say what it is that I know and what I understand. That's my gift to share with you all. And if I ignore my gift, I lose it. And you all know, if you have a gift and you don't use it, then you will lose it. So I don't want to lose my gift. And this is why I have to share it with y'all. And maybe everybody won't understand or believe it or get it, and that's fine. It's not for everyone. It is not for everyone. And, I speak with conviction because it's real for me. It may not be real for you, but understand this. As a man thinketh, so is he. When you begin to speak and think with conviction, and you listen to your gut, and you know that the generator and the operator and the destroyer is inside of you and not outside of you, and you place more focus and attention on what you're creating inside, then you begin to see that it's the outside is a reflection of that. That is going to be the biggest concept of 2022 that you can get. Like, you really need to understand that, because when you understand and you take responsibility for what's happening to you right now, and you don't give that power to someone else, when you stop being afraid and you stop putting the blame on a part of, or on a you, like the devil, which is still part of you, because God and devil are still one and the same person. when you stop putting that blame on something else outside of you and you start taking responsibility for it, then and only then can you change it. Then and only then do you have the power to change it. So it's going to be a part 2 to this video. I really need to wrap it up right now because I have made some commitments to my son that we would watch something together. So I look forward to doing part 2. And if you have any questions about anything that was said today, please put your question below and I will hopefully try to answer that in the second video. So until we talk again, beloveds, peace.